This is the Fortean Slip with your host, Chris York.
But he can smell the Loveland Frogman.
It's a Mothman festival.
Oh, Mothman, whatever the fuck it is, I don't give a shit.
Co-host, Steve Alcorn.
I'm lazy, and I don't do YouTube videos anymore, but I still get money from YouTube on occasion.
And sometimes special guest, Matt Knapp.
Maybe I could go down in history as the first eyewitness of a moth woman.
I think you should endeavor to do that.
Taking down all things strange since 2013.
But my reservation.
What would Jesus do, Steve? What would Jesus do?
In Chris's world, that's called a good day, Steve. Oh, Steve, you're a damn investigator.
I don't know much about that subject. But what subject do I know about?
Which means he can hear it on a quiet day. That's kind of like one of your cryptid sightings, Steve. Asshole lives matter, Steve. What's the Mothman's name?
Actual name?
Fred Dryer.
That's not the Mothman's name.
Dude, you would be hard pressed to get me to attend a Bigfoot conference if it was like a block away from me.
I was gonna say if it was in Tulsa.
Wolfman Jack was on the air.
I'm the Wolfman.
Another astro.
Every time I do any sort of impression, he has to trump me.
You're about to witness the strength of creep knowledge.
Heidi ho, everybody, and welcome to the Fortean Slip. I believe this is episode 117.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think so. This is the Alien Selfies episode. In place of sometimes, not very often, barely ever, special guest Matt Knapp, we give you the British equivalent, not really, Sir Richard Allen.
My moniker's changed.
Yes.
I'm now Mad King Richard the Cruel.
It's
See,
alright, I guess.
Can we call you Richard the Third? He was kind of like hunchbacked. He was like a deformed asshole.
You know what? I wouldn't mind. I mean, considering he had absolutely no right to the throne at all, the fact that he was ever king was quite an accomplishment for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, no, seriously. Earned that. Have himself a carling, a hot woman.
He made it happen.
He made it happen. He saw what he wanted and he took it.
Richard the Third didn't fuck around.
Richard III did not fuck around.
He just fucking went for it. I remember reading that Shakespeare play, and I mean, I don't know how much of that is based on truth or whatnot. Probably not a whole lot of it. Shakespeare's probably sitting around smoking that weed that they found in wherever. And he comes into the church or into the throne room. I can't remember which, but he's got like a priest on each arm, and it's such a fucking hypocritical, like in your face, fuck you moment in the fucking play.
Shakespeare was very good at that.
Oh god, it was so great. I love that fucking play. But
all of that stuff.
What's that?
All of that stuff happened. The War of the Roses, Richard III, Henry Tudor, all that stuff actually happened.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, like, individual scenes, exactly how much of that was fact and how much of it was, you know, fiction wrapped in fact.
I think the fans understand what you're saying, Chris. You're saying that William Shakespeare was a liar.
I'm not saying that William Shakespeare was a liar. I'm saying
No. You just throw into question his work.
I'm
his
just
great work.
So A Midsummer Night's Dream was based on fucking fact?
It was. A bunch of humans got fucked around by fairies. Everyone knows that.
Romeo and Juliet. That was Shakespeare, right?
Steve, I'd like to know next show we do with Richard, we're doing it on fairies in England.
All right. Well, he said there's no
cryptids in England.
So, but there are fairies, apparently.
Apparently, he's down with the fairies. And according to
They used to exist.
and wait a minute,
They
and
used to
according
exist.
to a statement that he made prior to the show, I seriously believe that he might be down with the fairies.
He might be down with the fairies.
So, anywho,
Just because I'm secure enough in my sexuality to admit that another man is handsome, suddenly I'm gay.
There's nothing wrong with being down with the fairies.
I'm just giving you shit, and you know it, you fuck.
Yeah, so am I, you gerbil face.
It shouldn't even be an insult.
What the?
It should be a compliment.
What
to
kind
you.
of fucking? What kind of fucking insult? You gerbil face?
It's late. It's 2:30.
It's 1:30, so it must be tired time or something over there.
Yeah, this show needs to be like 15 minutes long for Richard. We kept him up too late. I'm like, hey, can we fucking go at 9? And that's of course 9 my time.
For the third time, I might add, this week.
You what?
Chris has been like, hey, we're doing the show here. Oh, sorry, Richard.
Yeah.
Fell asleep.
Hey,
How
listen.
many shows did we cancel this week?
Shit happens, and you motherfuckers, Richard disappeared off the face of the earth for like a week. Like after he was like, "Hey, we're doing a show tomorrow." I'm like, "All right, cool, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow." A week later, hey, I lost my internet.
My internet died due to terrorist owls, whereas you just fell asleep.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
Yeah, you sleep, terrorist owls. Okay, we're all on the same page now.
Are we?
I don't know. What's the topic? Alien selfies.
No, just aliens.
Just aliens.
Yeah,
Oh, the movie.
We can talk about Aliens, the movie.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Probably the best one in the franchise.
The best one in the franchise. How have you never seen any of the Alien movies?
Well, here's the thing.
Don't-
My wife, put on Jurassic Park yesterday, and I hadn't seen that. So, if that tells you anything.
I can remember a time when I thought you were a god, and I wasn't worthy to talk to you.
But see, as a fan of the show, Richard, from day one pretty much, you should already know that pop culture isn't my bag.
I thought it was a shtick. I thought it was a running gag.
It's not a running gag.
No, well, know that now, don't I?
It is the farthest thing from a running gag that there can be.
Steve was born in the wrong fucking century, dude. Like, the wrong time period. Like, Steve would have done... Stick Steve in the middle of the Great Depression, he'd have found a way to get by. Like, stick him in, 1800s America, he'd been perfect.
Maybe. I'm not fucking Amish or anything.
You are. You're just... You're
Mennonite.
You're just not meant for this technological civilization we live in.
No, he's a whiz with technology, isn't
No,
he?
he's not. No, he's really not.
I'm not.
He just fucking wings it. That's it.
I make it sound like I know a few things, but that's about it.
Wings it. No, I wrote a script for a Fortean Slip movie once.
Are you serious?
And yes, of course I'm serious. I'm a director.
No, wait a minute. You're not you're not bullshitting on this.
I bet he's
No,
dead
no.
serious.
No. Can I finish the story?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now.
Okay, well, it was just your basic, comedy. It wasn't anything special. Anyway, the whole thing started where you guys were around Steve's house, and in my imagination, Steve's the kind of guy that's got loads, garages full of junk, right? Is that true or not? I don't know. That's how
Not currently, but yes, I have been there in the past.
All right, well, that's the kind of guy I think you are. Yeah.
You're pretty close, pretty on target.
Right.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
I used to, just to verify your thinking, Richard, I used to go out on garbage night. What do you guys call it over there? Rubbish night or something? I used to go out on garbage night and pick through other people's garbage. and find things that I could sell.
Yeah, that is the kind of guy I thought you were. Like a garage full of junk, and then you got married, and your wife made you get rid of all of it or whatever. But that hadn't happened. Sorry.
Go ahead.
But that hadn't happened yet. You still had the garage full of junk. John Tito showed up looking for his IBM computer, which you had. And then Chris needed to go to the store for some smokes. You took his truck. Shenanigans ensued.
Chris doesn't have a truck.
No, his truck. Tito's truck.
Oh, Teeter did Teeter have a truck at one point? I can't remember.
He had a pickup Ford truck.
Yeah, he had a Corvette
I think
too,
maybe
though.
he did. I don't remember.
I
He was
remember
a time traveler, Steve. He probably could have had anything.
Exactly.
Richard, at one time I wrote a script for a reality show. Not a script, but I guess you call it a premise or whatever, for a reality show, and it was about having garbage and that kind of thing.
Steve
Picking through other people's garbage.
literally wrote a sentence.
No, actually, it was quite a couple paragraphs, actually, quite a few, and I answered it into this contest, and they were giving away $50,000, and I was actually a finalist, but I didn't make the cut. But it was actually a good show, and then American Pickers came on. So,
I was going to say that show already exists. It's called.
it didn't exist at the time. I went to. It was probably 6 or 8 years. Reality TV was just becoming real popular at the time. So, in the beginning of the reality TV craze. So it was well before American Pickers, but eventually somebody did the show anyhow. So, and I didn't get any money.
Are you trying to say that you're responsible for American Pickers?
I'm trying to say that I had the same idea, and yeah, I'm not responsible for the show, no, but it was the same basic idea.
He said he thought of it before it was cool.
Right.
Are you saying they stole your idea?
No. Mike Wolf and Frank Fritz are two awesome guys who would never steal anything from me, I don't think. Maybe they did. Who knows?
It sounds accusatory.
It was actually a little bit different, but the premise was the same. It was.
Sounds
You ever
like
watch
about this, Steve?
what's the name of that show? The crazy British guy hosts over there. It's on BBC.
Help me. Antiques Roadshow.
No. It's they go to auctions and they buy shit, and then they go to yard sales or something and buy stuff, and then they have to resell them at auction.
I can't remember what that's called. I know
But you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I don't know if it's current, but I used to watch that show all the time. So it was kind of on the same premise as that. You'd have to actually resell the items you found. That's all.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It was.
Yeah.
Until American Pickers stole it.
And Steve's was called Other People's Shit.
No, it was called Another Man's Trash.
I was close.
Yeah. It's a good idea. Just didn't fly at the time.
I developed a concept for a sequel, but I never wrote the script for the second one.
Do you still have the script?
It's on my computer somewhere.
You need to find it and we'll act it out.
Yeah.
I was thinking we should start a Kickstarter for it.
No, we'll just act it out on air.
That might work. Oh yeah, we could do that theatre thing.
No, like
The
fucking sort of like what Kevin Smith does with Scott Mosier, where they just read scripts on air.
But you know my acting abilities, Chris, aren't up to par.
I never expected that they would be.
At one time I did, when I was a kid, I did church plays and shit. And I thought I was like the best up there until we did the Ratman and Sea Dog stuff. And I heard myself. I'm like, holy fuck.
You were bad.
I did.
That was just awful.
It was horrible.
I didn't expect you to play your own roles.
But if not for that, I mean, think of this. If not for that, this show never would have been.
Right.
Like, we never would have gotten here had we never done that.
Did you have a cast picked out to, No,
I finished it, and then I realised what I'd done, and I was incredibly embarrassed. So,
Because I think Morgan Freeman should play me.
Steve, you do not. Gary Shaw, if you're listening, I know you're going to listen to the show. This is your fault. I blame you for this. You inbred farmer Sussex cunt.
Wait, what was the other guy? Clarence Brown or Clancy Brown or something? Maybe he should play me.
I can't sound like him either. Where do these rumors come? Oh, yeah. Chris.
Hey, don't look at me. I didn't start that one. All right.
I suppose
Anywho,
I'm just thinking who could play Steve.
who could play fucking Steve?
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
No.
Oh,
Jason
sure.
Bateman.
Oh, sure. Matthew
No, I was
McConaughey.
thinking-
He could put on fucking Steve's drawl, whatever type of drawl Steve has. That fucking... I don't even know
I don't
what
have
it
a
is.
drawl.
Whatever the fuck it is. It's some fucking way you speak.
I think, you were saying Jason Bateman. I was thinking more like Jason Alexander, to be honest.
No.
Dude, you're really tall.
Yeah, but that's the fun part, see.
Jason Alexander could play Matt.
What about Kramer?
Yeah, that could work.
Kramer?
I can't remember his real name.
Oh, God.
Michael Richards, right?
Yes, correct.
That's him.
Yeah.
Made famous by incredibly racist comments.
Yeah, he kind of went off the deep end there.
Well, no, he just sucked as a comedian and tried to get some shock laughs.
Well, see, I disagree. I thought he was a great comedian. Now, the racist shit was wrong, but I thought he was funny.
Name me one good thing he ever did apart from Kramer.
Oh, you didn't say apart from Kramer. You said he sucked as a comedian.
He did suck as a comedian. As a stand-up, he did a wonderful job as Kramer.
No, he used to do Fridays, the show Fridays.
He was great in UHF.
That was good. I thought.
All right, then. Never mind. I stand corrected.
I loved the Andy Kaufman episode with him, and that was good stuff.
I hate Andy
You see what I did
Kaufman.
there, Richard?
I don't like Andy Kaufman at all.
Aliens.
Great segue, Steve.
It was like the worst segue of mankind.
I don't even think we can talk about aliens now.
Yeah, we can.
Kirk Cameron.
Right, so-
Kirk Cameron could play me.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Really? You go to Kirk fucking Cameron?
I don't know why that came. Well, you said Jason Bateman, and they're from the same era, television era,
What about the guy that plays Beast in the X-Men movies? He'd make a good Steve. Put a cowboy hat on him.
Maybe.
I don't even know who he is.
Maybe.
'Cause I haven't
No.
seen the movies.
Yeah.
So irrelevant. I don't know his name.
I know who you're talking about, and yeah, I could see that a little bit. A little bit.
Zach Galifianakis. Oh, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. He could play
Galifianakis?
Matt. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
that guy.
He could play Matt, and I don't know who for Chris.
Oh God, here we go.
I'm just
Chris
trying
is
to
a
think.
tough one.
Yeah, because you got to find someone who's equally as sarcastic as he is a douchebag. I don't actually know. Jason Bateman again, though.
What?
That's a good one.
No.
What's he going to do? Play a dual role like the Nutty Professor and Eddie Murphy or something?
What's wrong with Jason Bateman? Jason Bateman's hilarious.
I'm not being played by Jason Bateman. I veto that fucking choice.
So you're not coming up with any-
And for the record, I fucking love Jason Bateman in comedy movies.
Arrested Development was the best thing. he
Oh
ever
yeah,
did.
yeah. Arrested Development by far was amazing, but no, I'm not gonna.
Oh, speaking of that, what about Michael Cera? Play you. That could work. Low energy, sort of sarcastic, or Jesse Eisenberg.
Well, I'll give you that.
Oh, I know who I want to be played by. I've got it. The dude, I can't think of his name right off. Damn it. He plays that Derek character.
But Ricky Gervais.
Yes, that's who I want to be played by.
Ricky Gervais would work for Chris, actually.
No. I want Ricky Gervais.
No, listen.
Really, really.
If we want to be serious, Louis C.K.
Oh yes. But for you.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as funny as Louis C.K. But
you could have Joe Rogan play you.
No, I like that idea. Actually, that works really well.
Joe Rogan. I'm not nearly fucking alpha male enough for that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I think
that fucking overgrown fucking gorilla.
Joe Rogan is pretty hench. Takes care of himself.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back to Morgan Freeman. That's what I want.
You're not being played by Morgan Freeman. I don't know why you embrace this delusion.
Because it's
wait.
true.
It's not true.
You don't know why he embraces this delusion, yet you've heard him say on this program that he saw a ceramic frog jump across the room, and he stands by that story.
I do stand by that story.
Why would you stand by it? Why would you just back away from that?
Now, to correct you, Chris, it wasn't a ceramic frog. It was more of a composite material. But yes, I stand by the story.
What was it? Carbon fucking fiber? For fuck's sake!
It was like a plastic composite, material.
It doesn't matter what it was made out of. You said something that you put your keys in, turned into a live frog and jumped away.
It's the truth.
I think arguing over whether it was plastic or ceramic is a bit fucking moot at this stage.
The thing is, I've always been about, putting forth the truth, and I don't want this story to get told the wrong way. So it doesn't.
You don't want the story of a thing that you hang keys on turning into a live animal and bouncing away.
You see, you got it wrong again. You don't.
You want that to be reported.
You don't hang keys on it. It's like you set it on your, porch or something, and there's a little trap door underneath. You put your key inside. It's a hide key.
Oh, well, now you've said that. It makes total sense.
Well, yeah, if it hung on the wall, how would it grow legs and...
Yeah, exactly. That was just my bad. Sorry, Steve. I messed up. I hope you can accept my sincerest apology.
Here's the thing. I'm not the only one, and we threw that frog out in the field back behind our house, and it returned.
Steve, I've spoken to you several times.
And the name of Steve's backfield was Pet Cemetery.
They used to bury their dead there until the ground went sour. Sometimes dead is better, Steve.
They used to grow corn there, and then after corn, they grew soybeans there. But while they were growing corn, it started out as a cabbage field, believe it or not.
And now I want to play with you, Steve.
So when they were growing corn there, one night,
Ribbit.
A woman appears out of the cornfield, all bloody and beaten and shit, and came to our door. So that's the kind of, field that was behind the house.
Well, where women got raped in.
Well, she got beaten and something. I don't know. She came to the door, but my parents wouldn't let her in the house because that's, the Christian parents that I had.
I don't understand. Because beaten women staggered out of this field, that makes it more plausible that frogs would come to life in it.
Yeah, but we don't know who she was. She could have been a ghost or something.
You're saying a ghost came out of your field?
Well, I don't know if it was a ghost. I don't know what happened to her after, because she left, before the police got there. And we never heard what happened.
The fact that she could ring the doorbell.
But she was all bloody and stuff, like somebody had beaten her.
Did she say anything? Did she say, "Help me, for the love of God, call the police"?
I believe something to that effect, but
And Steve was like, "Have you seen my frog?"
I wasn't privy to the conversation.
Did you see that frog? It just came to life and bounced back.
Listen, I have witnesses that this actually happened.
She was all bloody because she got hit by the frog.
By the frog.
my brother was there when it happened. He saw it as well.
Steve. Your favourite presents are Spam and Long Johns, and you tell this story. I'm deeply suspicious of you and your family.
You got it wrong again. Spam is, in fact, my favorite present. Long Johns are my least favorite.
Can we have your brother on so I can grill him about whether or not he dosed you?
I don't think that's a good idea to have my brother on this show.
It sounds to me like
I'll be the judge. I'll be the judge of that, Steve.
Well, my brother's slightly, schizophrenic, and he's a paranoid schizophrenic, and
so am I. We'd have something in common.
I know you are, but he's a little. I can talk to you, Richard. He's a little bit different, so.
I'm severely suspicious that he dosed you, and that's why you both saw a frog jump across the room.
Wait. You're telling me you saw a frog jump into a field and your only witness is a paranoid schizophrenic?
No.
That's what you're saying.
Now you got the two stories mixed up. The frog jumped across the living room. It was sitting on the TV stand. It jumped across the living room. Later, because something was seriously wrong with that thing, one of my family members, I believe my sister, took it out and chucked it out into the field at another time. And then it came back. And we tried to get rid of it several times. Finally, we did get rid of it. It was possessed or something.
It was like a fucking Ouija board.
Why in God's name would an evil spirit possess a ceramic frog for holding keys? What would possibly the reason behind it?
Okay.
Unless it was like a lesser demon of losing your keys down the back of the sofa, why would it do that?
Did you guys have a name for the frog?
There may have been a name.
You don't remember it?
No.
Yeah, it was a frog.
That's what I was thinking. Beel's a frog.
Loose the frog.
You guys think it's crazy, but
it is crazy.
It is not crazy.
It's batshit crazy, Steve.
It's not the only thing that happened in that house. I mean, I don't think it was the frog itself that was possessed, but there was things going on in the house at the time. I mean, that wasn't the only incident.
Did your mother ever throw up pea soup and scream?
Our daughter Carol Ann's on the television set.
My mother actually is one of the only ones in the house that never experienced any of the activity. Is
she the only sane one?
No. She's just as insane as the rest of us.
That's a lovely thing to say about your mother.
Well, she had to put up with the likes of me for the last 45 years, so. No, I mean,
that teaches someone to hate.
This is the same house where it was
built on an Indian burial ground.
Well, that may be true. We don't know that. We did find some arrowheads in the yard, and
the natives, in revenge for this horrible act of desecration, possess your frog.
This house has been cleansed.
Wait. What? Fingernail clippers?
Yes, they possessed a pair of fingernail clippers.
Fingernail clippers and a frog for holding your keys. That's what these ghosts possess.
Well, just some of the things, yes.
This story is so crazy, I'm actually willing to sign off on it. It's just got the right level of total batshit nuts. And I'm just going to go, you know what? I'm on board.
Here's the thing. I'm a horrible actor, so if I was making it up, you'd probably know. But my brother, he spent his time in the basement. He had a room down there. That's where he resided pretty much. Not the schizophrenic brother, the totally sane brother. And
that lived in the basement dungeon. Every time someone came to the door, your parents would clock him over the head and chuck it down the basement to feed to the beast.
My brother is in the UK right now. I can have him come over there and kick your ass or something, but
what? Wait, when did that fucking escalated quickly?
Right?
It's just I don't know. He might be in Germany. I don't know where he's at. But anyway, so he saw, he had a poster of Roger Clemens because his favorite team was the Red Sox. But it was on the other side of the room, and he always kept a pair of fingernail clippers on the stand next to his bed. And one night, the fingernail clippers flew across the room and hit the poster of Roger Clemens.
Possible that if they were on the stand next to the bed, he accidentally kicked the stand.
No. This was, I'm going to say 20 feet because it was a full basement,
You ever seen that episode of Ghost Adventures with the brick?
No.
I haven't seen it.
No. I don't subscribe to
The
that.
same.
So wait, no. Is this the one where the brick and you can see the string pulling the brick? Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, so my brother made up a story that nobody else saw, and he tied a string to a pair of fingernail clippers and made it fly across the room just so he could tell a story. But yeah, nobody else was down there when it happened. So that
You know what my response to that is?
what?
Any Bigfoot hoaxer.
Yeah, but Bigfoot hoaxers do it for public consumption. They want people to see
Or
it done.
attention.
Well, you can tell a story as a hoax. My brother doesn't tell those kind of stories normally. He doesn't.
How do you know that, Steve?
Well, because he's my brother.
He ain't heavy.
He weighs about 140, so no, he's not.
The road is long.
He also had levitation events. He would levitate off his bed in the middle of the night, and a ghost cat followed him when he moved to Pittsburgh.
Ghost cat?
And yes, a ghost cat.
Wow.
He would actually sit on his chest and paw him. And I think we lost Richard.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Ghost cat.
I'm just
He never
shocked.
saw the cat, but how a cat paws at your chest when it sits on you or whatever. Well, that's what it would do.
So annoying.
The cat stayed in Pittsburgh, the ghost cat, I believe. When he left the house, see, I think all the activity centered around
Was the
him for
ghost
some
cat
reason.
like Ghost Dad? Did he like slip GHB to everybody?
No, he was invisible, and he just
I think there's a
liked to
TV
paw
show
at
in that.
people.
Like Lassie, only with a ghost cat.
That would be cool. So, I think we have to change the title of the show to Steve's Crazy Ghost Stories or some bullshit. But
Ghost cat.
Just Steve's crazy. Just Steve's crazy. That'll work.
we had a lot of incidents like that, though. It wasn't just one isolated frog jumping across the room.
Would we get nailed for copyright infringement if we called it Space Ghost Cat?
No, I think you're okay if you put cat at the end.
What if we dress up
But
the
it wasn't
cat
Space Cat.
in an outfit just like Space Ghost?
We could attempt to I don't know. Yeah, I got nothing. Space Ghost Cat. I'm on board.
So here's the thing, though.
If you weren't, I'd call you a communist. And we all, and what we've all learned since Bernie Sanders has been running is that everybody has to hate socialism, and we might as well be communists. So,
Well, as a capitalist country, communism pretty much is the opposite of everything you hold true and dear.
Pretty much.
that's beautiful,
Trump
man.
versus Clinton. That's coming up.
No, let's not get into politics, though. It just doesn't work.
It's not politics. It's actually science fiction this year.
It's comedy, I think.
No, it's not really. I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure it's a
tragedy.
glitch in the Matrix, and at some point it'll straighten itself out, and we'll have a real president.
I hope it's in my lifetime. That's all I know.
There we go. On behalf of Her Royal Highness the Queen, to all American listeners, I've been instructed to tell you that you are allowed to vote to return to England this year.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound like. I mean, it sounds just as good a choice as what we had.
We're sorry for bailing on the crown.
Give up our sovereignty.
The alternative is much worse. So
God knows we can't try to go to Australia. They'll fucking ship us to some prison island.
France is having a lot of
it's kind of
unrest
funny.
right now, so we can't
It's
go
kind of
there.
funny that an island that was originally populated by criminals now takes all of the illegal immigrants and ships them to a prison island.
If you think about it, that's probably why they do so well as a country, because they're descended from people that didn't give a shit and did what was best.
And they make their people go vote.
Yeah.
It's a crime in Australia if you don't vote.
Well, what's right is not always what's good, and they know that.
I hope the absentee ballot system over there works really well, because if something fucks up and you aren't able to make it, what happens? Do you get just a fine, or do they put you in jail?
Burned at the stake.
It's like a witch. You didn't vote, witch! Crazy
That's what the
shit.
Sydney Opera House is for.
For burning witches?
Burning witches.
It's a real problem down there in Australia.
Got a serious witch infestation.
You're a witch. Burn the witch!
We haven't talked about aliens at all.
No, we're not even gonna bother at this point, Richard.
I do have some UFO stories that I've had several sightings.
We're not going to talk about your several UFO sightings. Along with
I don't trust you at all.
You're like Fox. I've told you this before. You're like Fox Mulder with a fucking cowboy hat.
Now listen, this is addressed to both of you. First to Richard. Richard, you've known of me for a long time. I mean, right? And you've trusted
Team Taser.
Right, since Team Taser, and I've always been about one thing, and that's, telling the truth and saying it how it is. And I haven't changed. Right?
Yeah, but I've met you now. You can't unring that bell.
Well, yeah, that's something a little different. I mean, I'm gonna say it how it is, no matter how crazy it sounds, if it's the truth. And I forgot what I was gonna say to Chris. So,
do you know that Johnson's asked me to go to Soho? I nominate you to go instead of me.
Well, I would, but no.
You know better than to ask me.
Well, here's the thing. I would go in with an open mind not open mind. I don't like the word open mind because if you have an open mind, a lot of shit goes into it. I try to be skeptical no matter where I go as far as these sorts of things, even though I've had some weird experiences myself, the frog. But with Johnson, I just don't know that I could do that. I don't know that I could go there and be objective. I don't know that I could.
But could you go there? But could you go there and objectify women?
No.
Okay.
No, I could not do that.
Just checking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just checking. I want to make sure.
No,
I'm always worried about you, Steve.
Well, you shouldn't be as when it comes to that, because that's totally against my nature.
I wonder.
Objectifying women.
I question that.
Well, no.
I question.
You shouldn't.
I do.
You shouldn't.
I do.
You shouldn't. Don't.
I do.
Shall we? What's your favourite part of the female anatomy, Chris?
Are you seriously going to ask me that question?
Yeah, let's do it. Since you brought up objectifying women.
I'm not going to fucking talk about my favorite part of the female anatomy.
Lame.
Just because you want to fucking take it to a fucking level. I just want to degrade this show even more than it's already been degraded. Look, we're going to talk about aliens. Steve's fucking flip-flopping frog. Fucking women coming out of the backfield covered in blood.
The election.
Fucking ghosts everywhere in Steve's fucking house. His house was the fucking poltergeist house.
It was. Well, it wasn't poltergeist. Nobody got injured.
Coach was your stepfather, wasn't he? And I'll only
from the TV show.
And I'll only refer to him as Coach.
The dude from the TV show, Coach.
Yeah.
Yes. Steve lived in the house that was a really half-assed Amityville horror.
Well, there was nothing dangerous going on.
Did you see a pig girl outside the window?
I did not, but I did see outside the kitchen window of one time a guy walking past the kitchen window. He had a baseball cap on. The only problem with that is...
And that man was Ronald DeFeo Jr.
and that man was Kevin Costner. If they build it,
well, here's the
they
thing.
will come.
The window was not at a level such as if you were walking on the ground, you could walk past the window. It was raised. It was probably...
Is this heaven?
10 feet off the ground?
Ohio.
No, I would lived in Pennsylvania.
Oh, sorry. They're fucking pretty much the same state. You literally,
not at all, actually.
you can throw you can throw a rock and fucking hit Pennsylvania from where you are.
Pretty much, but that doesn't mean they're the same state. That's like saying Canada and the United States are the same.
Listen, Maine and New Hampshire might as well be the same state. They're fucking right next door.
Pennsylvania and Ohio are totally different.
I drive across the border. It seems like the same state to me, Steve.
Yeah, it may seem that way, but like in Pennsylvania is a commonwealth, so it's not even a state, and Ohio is a state, so there's different types of governments that run each state, so they're totally different.
Well, there you are.
All right, so your field of dreams was in fucking Pennsylvania.
Field of nightmares.
Did you make a baseball field?
Did you make?
We thought about it.
Did you build it, and did they come?
Did you go grab James Earl Jones in the middle of the night and drag him to your house?
You see, now that you bring up James Earl Jones, I think maybe he should play me in the movie. I like his voice better.
What the actual... No, that is blasphemy. What you just said, I'm not religious, but what you just said is blasphemy.
That I like James Earl Jones better than Morgan Freeman?
That you think that James Earl Jones should play you.
I don't see anything wrong with that and how that could be blasphemous.
Well, your voice is like, "Hi, I'm Steve Alcorn," and his voice is like, "Hi, I'm James Earl Jones. I did the voice of Darth Vader and Mustafa." Right,
but see, I didn't see any difference in your impersonations of mine and his. It sounded the same to me.
I know you're fucking with me, but still, I'm falling for it. I actually just...
You see, you've fallen for the Morgan Freeman. You've fallen for the Morgan Freeman thing for like the last 2 years. So
I knew you were just saying it to wind me up. You utter cowboy hat wearing cunt-faced twat.
Do you really think I believe I sound like Morgan Freeman? Come on. Maybe his younger brother, but not him.
Oh my
God. This is frog thing just to wind us up as well?
No, that absolutely did happen.
It didn't happen.
I'd swear on a stack of Bibles.
It was an acid trip.
Yeah, it had to be. That just doesn't happen.
It does happen.
And your brother smoked some DMT with you.
Well, he was quite a bit younger and hadn't been diagnosed with schizophrenia yet, and he didn't act, schizophrenic at the time, and he didn't, do drugs or anything like that.
Schizophrenic. How does one act schizophrenic?
Oh, trust me, with him. Now, I don't know how it is with you, but I know with him, it's definitely when he's having an episode, you know it.
I have a very mild case. I just get really anxious, depressed, paranoid.
Yeah, he's not mild. So you know it. Trust me.
Yeah, I've seen people like that.
Well, now that we've fucking not even talked about aliens and allowed Steve to tell his horrid fucking poltergeist Amityville horror in Pennsylvania story.
But there's more.
I don't want to hear it. Do you have any new?
More. I want to hear
no,
this.
No.
We'll do it on a future episode.
I'm putting the kibosh on it now, Richard.
How much worse can it get?
I've had it. I'm tapping out. I'm fucking tapping out right now.
You heard the
story about the... No, tap. Let me out. Let me out.
Taylor.
Yes.
Steve, do you have some news?
Yeah, do you have some fucking news? That does not involve your life.
Look at Richard trying to take over the show there. I like that.
Just segue.
A movie script about this show. My God, Richard, you are a super fan.
My girlfriend was going to get me a T-shirt, but we broke up.
From mysanantonio.com. It's from San Antonio, but it's about New Orleans, apparently. In New Orleans...
You're crazy for your Volkswagen stuff.
I love my Volkswagen stuff.
Right, and I love my Fortean Slip stuff.
They have Volkswagens in New Orleans. And they also treat ghosts like family down there. It's said that New Orleans is unlike any other American city. Where else will you find people willingly boarding buses marked cemeteries? Where else will voodoo priests and priests... I want to be a voodoo priest. I think that'd be cool. And priestesses be lauded as rock stars. Their graves decorated with floral tributes. Whether their city defies sinners and names its football team the Saints. And where will you find stately homes on the French Quarter to the Garden District and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm trying to just get to the gist of the story. I don't like it. I don't like this story so far.
Wow.
Oh, here we go.
There's fucking... Wait a minute. No. There's voodoo priests and fucking buses going to cemeteries, and you don't like this story?
Well, because it's about friendly ghosts like Casper, and I can't find Casper yet. And I want to get to the point.
Really?
What is the point, Steve?
The point is my mouse just quit, so I got to use the
point is
mouse pad.
Steve bails on stories that he doesn't like.
I do sometimes, but I found a good part here. Oh. If these houses could talk, there would be a conversation peppered with...
Why don't you just find new stories that you like and read them?
Because Chris gave me these stories,
because
and I'm lazy.
That would be too much like doing fucking work. That's why. Right. That's why, Richard. Read on, Steve.
Oh, there we are.
If these houses could talk, theirs would be a conversation peppered with tales of lost pirate treasure, doomed love affairs, political intrigue, and grisly murders. The elegant facades belie, the secrets within their walls, and the skeletons noisily. Why does anybody even listen to our news? At the corner of Governor Nichols and Royal Streets in the French Quarter is the building known simply as the Haunted House. In the 1830s, it was owned by Delphine Lalaurie.
It was owned by the Alcorn family.
You see, there you have another part of the story, right? It was my sister and I were the only Alcorns in that household. The rest of them were Klingers because my mom married my stepdad, and he was a Klinger.
Like
and
Corporal?
They were born after that. No, actually, it was spelled with a C, not a K. And that was...
That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Klinger on MASH was spelled with a K, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Steve's stepfather always dressed in drag to try to get out of his marriage.
Now, back, during... after World War II, actually, when some of them emigrated to the United States, it did start with a K, but they changed it because they wanted to be less German, because it wasn't, kosher to be German in the United States at the time.
Ah, look at you.
See, I said
That was very
kosher.
clever. Yeah, no, because Hitler hated the Jews.
Yeah, no.
See?
And killed a bunch
See what
of
I did
them,
there?
and kosher is a Jewish word.
Right.
There we go. For everyone
See?
that didn't get that joke, I just explained it for you.
I didn't even get it until after I said it, so I lost the story. But anyway, apparently in Louisiana,
Steve's family
goes
came
to-
right from Auschwitz in the towers.
no, that was my stepdad. Not my family.
Oh.
Not my descendants were French, I believe. I don't know. I thought I was Chinese at one time, but I'm not.
Pretty obvious if you're Chinese.
Well, I thought I was. I actually did. My mom still picks on me for that. I don't know where I got the idea, but I was like 3. So anyway, I lost the Louisiana Casper story, so we're going to go with Inquisitor.com. Glowing UFO. I accidentally clicked off of it while you guys were
Sure you did. Yep.
talking.
The height of professionalism that is our news reporter, Steve Alcorn. Take a bow, Steve.
I'll read this story way more professionally than the last one, okay?
Go.
A UFO hunter claims to have filmed a fleet of UFO. I already fucked it up. UFOs in Henderson.
What a sentence. Not even a sentence.
It's a
Let me start
UFO, Steve.
A UFO hunter. Still can't do it. A UFO hunter claims to have filmed a fleet of UFOs over Henderson in Nevada late on Friday, June 3rd.
If there's a
While
fleet
skeptics-
of UFOs, Steve.
While skeptics have disputed the video that shows glowing lights hovering over Henderson, UFO believers insist that the footage likely shows alien UFOs because they were filmed in an area near the notorious UFO hotspot, Nellis Air Force
Alien
Base.
UFOs. Is
That's
there
what it
any
says.
other kind of UFO?
Sure. UFO simply means unidentified flying object.
Yeah, I know that, but it's synonymous with like flying saucers and triangles and stuff.
Well, yeah, but
I
guess
just feel like saying that alien is unnecessary.
it isn't necessary, but they want to specify alien because they believe they
Reasons.
are alien. But there are other UFOs that are not alien because they're just unidentified to the person seeing them. Correct?
Well, I suppose so, but okay, no, continue.
Anyway, Nellis Air Force Base is where conspiracy theorists claim that an extraterrestrial race called the Tall Whites have maintained a secret base since the 1950s. The Tall Whites, one of those guys could play me on the movie.
No, the cast.
It sounds like an extremely racist group for some reason. The Tall Whites.
doesn't
They sound like they're all black.
Are those there's the Norwegian ones. They call them the Norwegians or something. And then there's the Greys and the Reptilians. But the Tall Whites are the ones who, I think, run the show. They're the ones who have had the base and speak with the government all the time.
No, I guess that's the case. The Tall Whites are running the show.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sometimes some short
Recalling
whites.
his experience,
They're usually always rich.
recalling his experience on Friday night, UFO hunter Steve Barone writes in the description of the video uploaded to YouTube that he nearly missed the opportunity to film the UFOs. They appeared just as he was about to give up after watching several minutes for something to happen. I'm glad I was patient enough to stay outside just a little longer last night, he writes. Nothing happened for the first hour and a half, and it was still really hot, so I was getting ready to go inside and chill out. Yeah, it sounds like a credible witness to me. I'm just saying, he was out there expecting to see a UFO, and voila,
Steve, he
filmed
saw
UFOs.
he saw a fleet of UFOs, not just a UFO.
Well, yeah,
A fleet.
but he was out there expecting to see them. Like when the frog jumped across the room, I didn't expect that. It wasn't something I was waiting for. But if you go out waiting to see a UFO, you're probably going to see a UFO, right?
Almost, the only thing I would trust less than that is if a paranoid schizophrenic told me they'd seen a frog disappear in a field and then reappear.
Well, he's not the one who threw it in the field. I believe it was my sister. She's the one who saw it reappear.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it all right then.
Yeah. It belongs to, eventually, we ended up throwing it in the garbage. I mean, we had done that too, and it came out. Well, we won't go into that. And so now it's waste management's problem.
Is it possible that
Fleet
maybe one of your
UFOs.
siblings...
Fleet of UFOs, Richard.
Oh.
I wanted to get to the bottom of this frog thing.
We'll do it on another show. I'll get there. I mean, I don't even know what the bottom of it is.
I don't really... Another show should be wasted on this frog thing.
I can't
Fleet of
be the
UFOs.
Yeah. He claims to have captured on camera from his backyard in the affluent Summerlin area of Las Vegas on June 3rd 3 separate UFO events. The first over the North Valley of the metropolis, the second over mountains about 9 miles from his home, and the third and final bright UFOs seen over Henderson. 3 different events happened. I got some footage of objects in the North Valley, which led to these ones over in Henderson, he writes. While this was happening, another event started on a mountain about 9 miles away from my home. But the most spectacular of the 3 separate events he witnessed on June 3rd, while filming from his backyard, was a group of bright UFOs that appeared over Henderson. I really like this particular video because it clearly shows a minimum of 3 UFOs together, brightly lit up. In reality, there were probably quite a few more that just stayed low-key, because that's what UFOs do. They stay low-key. Anyway, Baron's convinced of what he saw, and nobody else is.
Nice.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
Yeah. Oh, this should have been the top story. This should have been my lead-off story, because this is like huge fucking news right now. This is from the Time Record News, but it's been all over the place, even in USA Today and Time Magazine, not Time Magazine, but Time whatever website, and it's been all over the fucking place. Yahoo, I think, even had a story on this. Man claims to have found a Bigfoot skull.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I think it's pretty convincing. While on a hike near his... I missed that, Richard?
It's been in every single group that I'm a member of.
And it's been all over fucking Facebook from people who aren't into Bigfoot or even paranormal shit, because it's all over the news right now. While on a hike near his home in Ogden, Utah, Todd May, the guy's name is, felt himself drawn towards something. I would go out there often and find things, fossils and rocks. I looked around for about a half an hour, then I saw it. What May saw was a 75-pound object he claims is the fossilized head of a Bigfoot. The Bigfoot, known to some as Sasquatch, is, you know, as we all know, is the ape-like creature that may or may not cloak itself. Living in a...
Spoiler alert, it's a rock.
Living in a hot spot for Bigfoot sightings, May said he has been interested in the mythological creature all his life. In the past few years, he claims to have seen at least 2 different creatures that he believes are Bigfoots. The first time I saw one, I was startled. It looked like an ape from the zoo, he said. The creature appeared out of nowhere and then ran off a few seconds after the man and creature made eye contact, he says. After the first spotting of Bigfoot, May had started visiting the Ogden Canyon area, hoping for more sightings. He would visit a hot springs in the area and often felt someone, or something, pegging him with rocks. I just thought it was kids, but then my friend was playing her flute outside and had a couple of witnesses who saw the Bigfoot, May said. I guess they like flutes.
The person in question sent the skull off to Bigfoot expert Kelly Shaw, who had this today. I think maybe it might be a skull. The Kelly Shaw's an idiot is the point of that. Sorry.
The Redford one was a lot bigger, and it spooked me more, May said, of the second creature he spotted about a year later. Anyway, it was around this time that he found this skull, and I lost a couple months later. Here
rock. We go. Don't give it any credibility. Rock.
A couple months later, May saw in the same area and spotted what appeared to be a handprint on top of a rounded surface. He dug the large object out of the surrounding dirt and saw a familiar face. It had some facial structures as the creatures I had seen, the same facial structures. Since finding the object in May 2013, I think no, not May 2000. His last name is May. See, my eyes switched the words there. It didn't work well. Since finding the object in 2013, May said he's had hundreds of people weigh in on their opinion about this finding. There's haters out there. Of course there are.
Say it's a rock. Because it looks like a rock. They say maybe it's a rock. But this is the Wu's fault. They turned Bigfoot into a religion, and now people are seeing Bigfoot in rocks.
This is your typical delusional Bigfooter statement. It starts, there's haters out there, other Bigfoot enthusiasts that don't like that I found something first.
Oh my God.
May said. People have noted the opinion of a Utah professor when the story first appeared, who said the object was just a rock. I believe that was probably Dr. Meldrum, who said
Dr. Richard Allen, who said it's a fucking rock, end quote.
But May says that this professor only saw it in pictures. He never saw it in person, so you can't tell from the pictures that it's really a Bigfoot skull.
That's cloaked to disguised as a rock, as a really obvious rock that any retard off the street could look at and say that's a rock.
Midwestern State University assistant professor Jesse Carlucci Kimball from the Kimball School of Geoscience said after viewing the object, it is, without a doubt, just a highly weathered rock. He goes on to say, often the natural fractures or joints in the rock are sites of increased weathering and chemical breakdown, when the rock interacts with rainwater, where you have these types of depressions form. It's not a Bigfoot, he said. Fossil skulls, as May claims it is, the professor says, are extremely fragile and are made out of bone, which is a very different texture and composition than a rock like this. May, however...
Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's the excuse.
Is still on the road with his foot finding, hoping to get the word out to whoever will listen, and that the world is more mysterious than we could ever know and has funny-shaped rocks.
Is it an MIB cover-up, or is it that the government took the skull away and replaced it with a rock?
Well, all I know is May says now that I don't know where I'm going next, but people need to see this and know that Bigfoots are real. And they are out there.
They need to see a rock. A rock will prove Bigfoot exists.
According to May, yes.
To be honest, that's more evidence than most Bigfooters have, so...
Well, at least it's solid evidence.
Exactly. At least you can touch it. At least you can go, this is a rock, ergo, Bigfoot exists.
Now, it barely even looks like a face. I've seen it. It's been around since, 2013 or so? Or 2010 or 11, maybe it was.
It doesn't look like anything other than a rock. I
Right.
don't know why anyone would look at that and not think this is a rock.
If you really, really squint and take some sort of mind-altering medications, it does kind of look like a face, but it's definitely...
How would you know, Steve?
Well, because I've been told.
Oh.
That's the news, gentlemen.
Somebody get me Mick West. Because that was an atrocious pile of shit.
Someday I'm really going to get you Mick West.
This has been the Fortean Slip, episode 117. The Steve's
Darius Fontaine could kiss my ass episode.
The Steve Alcorn's Amityville Poltergeist Horror episode.
more like a Amityville comedy.
If you like this shit, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment.
No one would believe you.
So, yeah, subscribe. Check out Matt's blog. Actually, his YouTube channel, Bigfoot Crossroads. Check out Dred Funn at dredfunn.com and at youtube.com/Dred Funn. Check out Richard's blog. It'll be in the links underneath the fucking video on YouTube. And
I'm not doing shit right now.
don't touch a single thing that Steve does, because he constantly tells us that he's going to be doing something and then doesn't, just like I predicted. See ya!